Hello. Ever want to see what a Danish, European flint knapped four-sided axe looks like? Well, a good friend of mine from Gulf Coast Knapping napped one of these things. And here you go. I just got it. This is a um, this is butterscotch Georgia Flint River Flint, and he made this beautiful uh, Danish European four-sided axe, and he signed it right there, and he says my first attempt at a four-sided axe. And I think he did a good job. I mean, he squared it up very good. A lot of punch work to drive them flakes off like that. Just like the Danish um, European flint axe heads were. And you can see it's got a nice square edge. You can see it down there. There's flakes taken off down each side like this, but maintaining that shape. And that's an important thing with these type of points. This is an actual European artifact from the Stone Age when flint knapping was important. And you can see how you know Jake ran the flakes off and ran them back around and squared off the edges just like the real Danish daggers and Danish axe heads. And the axe head is pretty damn sharp. You can see how thin it is. Now, there's a little slight ding in it there. I don't really care. It came that way, and I don't know if Jake did that. There's some a little bit of flakery in the box, and I'll probably try to retrofit and see if I can fit any of them in there to make it a complete axe. But yeah, what a smoker of a Danish axe. And funny thing is, Jake got in this project originally trying to make a Danish dagger. If you know what Danish daggers are from the European Stone Age, they've got this stitching kind of thing where the flakes are taken off on the edge around the handle of the dagger. And, you got a nice, beautiful, thin blade on it. And this is the reflection of the flint knapping world around the world. I mean, getting to see what people did years ago. So it's a beautiful four-sided axe, Danish European style flint knapping. We see a lot of Native American artifacts. We see a lot of modern flint knapping here in the United States, but we don't see much European stuff. And I try to bring that to you because I do have some friends in in foreign countries abroad like England or Scotland, and it's really cool to see something, but to hold something like this. Now obviously this thing is so thick I can't put in a frame. So this treasured piece is going in my curio cabinet, glass enclosed curio cabinet, and it's going to go in there along with the other axe heads and things that I have. But that is amazing, and I love how he signed it on the back, and I love this concrete pocket in that Georgia Flint River Flint. Now, when Jake sent this beautiful axe to me, he sent me a couple samples. And when I first seen this piece, I was like, oh my God, I got excited. I thought it with that graininess in it. I thought he sent me a flake or a spall of that petrified wood that he has. But no, this is heat treated Florida coral. It's a nice spall. Um, it would be awesome to try and get a full point out of this when I get into flint knapping in the warmer weather in the spring. I got this high spot here that I'm going to have to try and get rid of. So the point is, is, do I preserve the length of this beautiful material and try and make a point out of the whole length of it? Or do I just try to snap it in half? This side here is pretty thin. You know, I can probably, if I can get some of that cortex off of this side and keep this side and nap it and flake it, that could be a potentially good point. This would be a little thicker and a little more challenge to get rid of that turtle back, but something to do. But that's some beautiful um, Florida flint from, I think it's Bill Yoder, I think is his name. But look at how translucent that stuff is. Light just penetrates through it. It has these reds and oranges. It's beautiful. Okay. So that's a flake that he sent with the axe head. Another flake that he sent me is this piece, which is a beautiful fossilized Florida coral. And if you look at it closely, there's little white speckled spots in there. Those are the coral polyps. And if you look at it, it's translucent. I didn't do the translucency test on the master's frame with the Danny Collins Dalton. That's a very good point, but I'll tell you, this material right here looks very similar to what Danny Collins had in that Dalton he made me. So this is that tangerine and white colored Florida corals, what I call this, with polyps. This is very good material. I'm excited to try and work these when I get a chance in the in warmer months. You can hear the sound. It's got a nice ting ting. It's good quality material, it seems like. I won't know until I start napping it, but man, I'd like to try and get 3 points out of this. I'd like to get one point out of that. It's got a big high ridge on it, turtle back, so I got to try and get that out. And this one's got a turtle back right there. But man, oh man, golly McMolly, if I could get 3 points out of this material. I mean, it just rings and sings. It sounds like really awesome material. So, Jake Anderson, I wanted to do a shout out to you, and because I got these points, and you're a very generous guy in the YouTube community, and a good generous member of the napping community, and man, a huge thank you to send me this Danish 4-sided axe out of flint and a couple of sample pieces. Because I'll tell you what, buddy, if I start napping this and I like it, I'm going to be buying some medium and flat rate or large flat rate boxes of your spalls. I will take all of this stuff like this. Anything that's fairly flat and kind of straight, just like what Patrick calls them, those sweet flakes where they're fairly straight. I mean, as long as they're like that, I can nap something out of that. Like I said, most of you haven't seen all my nappings, and you haven't seen my nappings in the master's frame yet. Only because you're all good nappers. You're better than me in a lot of ways. So, you'll see some of my napping in the future. Next, few months, 6 months or whatever, when the weather gets nice. But, yeah, I appreciate everybody in the community, and I love everybody, the stuff that they send me, the stuff they have auctions in, and I win, and get and purchase. Amazing. Very awesome. And like I said, I want to throw a shout out to Jake Anderson from Coast Knapping for providing these things. I had to purchase them. I purchased the axe, and then he threw in these flakes as an extra, bonus. But yeah, he's a good napper, very good guy. He's probably up there as far as direct percussion nappers. You know, the guys that can do this kind of work on the edges with a bopper, with a copper or an antler bopper. Somebody that can use boppers to take the drive flakes off and do things like this. Pretty amazing skill. Of course, this is also about a punch napping. You take an antler and you put on the very edge of a striking platform and kapow and drive a flake off. And that's the technique that Jake did with these points. And if you check out his channel, he actually successfully made a Danish dagger that looks pretty damn sweet. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say that it looks a pretty good representation of and a replica of a Danish European flint dagger, and he did a good job. And I'm very fortunate and blessed to have the first attempt that he made at a four cornered um, Danish axe. You know, the blade's right along here. You can see how thin that is. And it's all squared off. He's taken punch flakes off of the edges of this. And this is unique because you wouldn't find a flint axe or a celt in North America that would look like this. Most of the flint axe heads, if you ever find one that's legitimate chipped out flint axe, it's going to be bifacially flaked, but it's not going to have these square edges. It's going to be like a big giant preform, and they're going to polish the edge off, you know, where the axe blade's going to be, and that's what it's going to be. But in Europe, these four-sided axe heads were like they were the bread and butter of the civilization over there. They use these to fell trees, to do woodworking, to make things. Um, for all we know, stone axe heads like this could have been very well used to plane and cut down trees and lumber and plane down the wood to make um, the sideboards on a Viking longboat, because this is European culture from, you know, the Viking period and maybe even earlier. But an axe like this could very well have been used by the Vikings to build their long ships that they used to expand the world and to do trade networks throughout the world. So, anyways, like, share, subscribe, comment, and like I said, love all you guys very much, and appreciate the comments. Doesn't matter what the comments are. You can say good, bad things. I accept everybody's comments, and I generally respond to everybody's comments when I do get them. So, anyways, like, share, subscribe, and have fun with the flint napping. Have fun getting outside. Get outdoors because it's a great place to be. All right. I'll talk at you in the next one.